A wedding has long been a licensed subject to joke upon. But there is really no great joke in the matter after all. For mixed up with the pleasure and joy of the occasion are the many regrets of leaving one's home, and the tears of parting between parent and child, and between the dearest and kindest of friends. Natural feelings which we would not render this scene mournful by describing, and which we should be still more unwilling to ridicule. Let us briefly say then that the ceremony went off in very admirable style, and the old church bell rang as gaily as it could, and the young Mr. and Mrs. Trundle and the Wardles, the Pickwickians and the poor relations, the friends and neighbors, well, every face shone forth joyously, and nothing could be heard but congratulations and commendations. Then they all returned to the house and to the wedding breakfast.
It's too big for just one family if you ask me.
What's the matter with you now?
Oh, can't help thinking of poor sister. Last time I was here, it were her funeral.
Had a right fine dinner then.
Oh, hush, you wretched mother. That must be our place, Mom. Oh, shush, Jenny.
Friends, yes, my dear family, welcome to my home and table.
They're ready.
It is my privilege to present before you Mr. and Mrs. Jeremy Trundle. The wedding toasts.
Now, well done, youngsters. Well done. Now, may I salute the bride?
Oh, you may, Mr.
Thank you. And now we have this small token of esteem from the Pickwick Club in London, and this is a little token.
It's
Little
beautiful. Oh, thank you, Mr. Pickwick. A golden watch. It's a gold watch.
Yes, congratulations. You both deserve it. Might I add a small hope that this little watch will count nothing but moments of peace and happiness for both of you together.
Yeah. Sentiment, Mr. Pickwick.
And now, Vicar Hope, if you will be so kind as to provide us with the blessing.
It's time, Mrs. Morgan, to say the blessing.
Come, Lord God, be thou a guest. Bless thou, and all our gifts are blessed. We thank thee, Lord, for this our food, for health and life and every good. Amen.
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 It was a lovely wedding, wasn't it, Miss Allen?
Oh, yes, Mr. Winkle. But I don't think I could ever submit myself to anything quite so dreadful.
Dreadful, Miss Allen?
Marriage, Mr. Winkle. To a man? Oh, I simply couldn't.
No.
Not ever.
Your lap. What about my lap?
Your napkin, it goes in your lap.
But my mouth's up here.
Mr. Weller, Sam,
Yes, Emma?
wasn't it you who set out the mince pie?
Me, and the fat boy. Something the matter?
Well, weren't there two?
Oh, yes, I put one there and oh, no, t'other one's missing.
Would you look for it, please?
Maybe Cook took it back to the kitchen. I'll go see.
Oh, yes. And wouldn't it be wonderful to have a kitchen like that?
And a proper cook, too.
Yes.
Have you met the vicar?
Yes, I have. Vicar, capital ceremony this morning.
Thank you, sir. My wife, Mr. Pickwick.
Oh.
Maria.
Yes, Mrs. Holmes. How do you
She's the woman with the cordials.
Well, Mrs. Holmes, capital cordials, I must say.
How nice of you to say so, Mr. Pickwick.
Mother, would you carve?
Sir? Not likely with all this food about. Oh, you want me to? All right.
Well then, the horse, it took off at a wild gallop, with Snodgrass and myself quite helpless in the chaise behind.
But what did you do?
Well, what could we do? We leapt out of the chaise into a hedge along the road.
Begging your pardon, Mr. Tupman.
Oh, Emma.
Will you have wine?
I was just telling that young lady over there about my little mishap on the way to the farm last summer.
Yes, you are one for accidents, aren't you, sir?
How you tended my wound
Well, I was just doing my job, Mr. Tupman.
and gave me a little kiss, remember?
Well, I remember you taking a little kiss. That's what I remember, Mr. Tupman.
Well, at Lady Cauliflower's wedding breakfast, they served roast peacock.
No.
No. Well, didn't I say so? Yes. And it was those peacock feathers Lady Cauliflower used on her wedding gown.
Beg pardon, Emma, but neither cook nor kitchen staff know anything about that mince pie.
Oh, very well, thank you, Sam.
Oh, anything for you, Emma.
Oh, go back to your Mr. Pickwick now. Can't you see I'm busy?
Begging your pardon, sir. Wishbone, sir.
Wine, sir.
You can leave it here. We need to help with ourselves.
Don't Cousin Isabel look a picture?
She's one spitting image of my poor sister.
So you think my cordials are passable, do you, Mr. Pickwick?
Quite passable, ma'am. As good as any tap room in London. No, better.
Really? I've never been in a tap room. The woman doesn't need to with all the liquor she keeps at home.
Yes, Mother. Emma. Well, Joe, we'll be needing more wine from the cellar.
Been wondering that myself, sir. Well, I'll see to the wine. Mr. Weller, would you help me, please?
I wonder.
What do you wonder, Miss Wardle?
I wonder if I will ever be married.
Do you?
Yes. I wonder if ever anyone would ask me.
Miss Wardle, would you?
Yes, Mr. Snodgrass.
Would you care for some more bread?
Sit down now, dear.
I am glad that you like the codfish.
Well, you know, I have done a bit of fishing in my day.
Oh, have you, Mr. Winkle?
Well, you know, Emily's told me all about your hunting exploits, but I had no idea you engaged in water sport as well.
Oh, Miss Wardle told you about the partridge shoot, did she?
Yes. I do believe Mr. Tupman's wound is healing rather nicely.
It was the gun. It was the gun. It was rusty. Rusty.
No doubt.
Now, the terrible thing was, lovely as those peacock feathers were, when Lady Tollenblower reached the altar, the candle she was standing next to sets that gown and all those feathers are burning like blazes. She had to run to the baptismal font so they could douse the flames.
Absolutely amazing.
Joe! Snodgrass!
Yes, Pick, are you listening to all this?
Yes, I am.
We must make a full report to the club back in London.
By all
Yeah, we
means.
can run here.
Tell me what you bought Cousin Isabel for a present. One of them deception people.
Oh, Hamlet, fancy that, why she's having the same thing as you.
Oh, that's right, Joe. Just like his patron saint he is.
Patron saint? Who do you mean, Emma?
I mean Saint Little Jack Horner. Him and Joe, all day long, sitting in the corner, eating their Christmas pies.
I'll have you know, it was the fashion at the time to wear high-heeled shoes. And so, of course, the morning of the wedding, it rained and rained. And Lady Tollumglow, the bride herself, in those shoes with their heels, got stuck in the mud and wouldn't budge. Hence, being a large old woman, it took 2 men to carry her to the
Thank you. I should like to propose a toast.
Oh, here.
Sam! No, Pickwick, don't scold him. Quite right, Sam. Emma, call all the rest of the servants in and give them each a glass of wine to drink the toast in.
Oh,